So history was made today, y'all. Watch this.
A recorded vote has been requested. We shall now begin the voting process. Those in favor of the draft resolution A/80/L48, please signify. Those against and those in abstention.
The Assembly is now voting on draft resolution A/80/L48 entitled Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. Will all delegations confirm that their votes are accurately reflected on the screen? The voting has been completed. Please lock the machine.
In favor, 123, against 3, abstentions 52. Therefore, draft resolution A/80/L48 is adopted.
So what you just saw is the United Nations General Assembly casting a vote to declare the transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery to be the gravest atrocities against humanity in history. And that because of it being the greatest atrocity against humans in history, reparations should be paid to those who are descendants of the victims of the gravest crime humanity has ever known. Well, as you saw also in the video, the resolution passed. 123 nations agreed that it was the greatest atrocity to occur against humanity. 23 nations, most of which were some of the ones participating in this atrocity, they voted in abstention, which means that they didn't have a vote on it. They just decided to sit this one out. However, 3 nations specifically voted against this resolution. One being Argentina, Israel, and the United States. That's right. Our nation voted against this atrocity being considered the worst in human history.
The name Odifo means survivor, although that survival may come sometime in the future. The title of the poem is Hard Love. She cannot stop her waters breaking, stanch the blood that comes with the birth of her son, or the flow of milk from her breasts. She holds him in her arms and feels the spirits of his fathers hover near. He is Odifo, Odifo, that is his name. She breathes the baby's name into his ear, into his spirit, so he may not forget. But even now she knows what cannot be. She must not fetter her son with tenderness. So as he grows, she flexes his feet and ankles to bear the weight of ball and chain, rubs her calloused hands down the soft skin of his back to ready him for whippings that will come. She lets the weight of her arms fall heavy on his neck as she hugs him. A yoke may be the collar he will wear. Some evenings she stands him near the cooking fire. She knows he must endure the searing of the branding iron deep into his flesh when he is marked, not with the name his fathers gave him, but as the property of the enslavers. These days in the fields the sun darkens. The white men have come like wild beasts on the hunt, and she knows. She knows. Just before daybreak one morning, Master sent for the boy, he must come. She whispers these final words to her son. You are Odifo. Remember your name, Odifo. There's fear in his eyes, but also something deeper. My name is Odifo, he whispers back. 13 years old, and he's gone. He will not see how the bitter-tasting vine she's used to bind her too full heart unravels, nor her red-rimmed eyes when all that she's held in breaks loose. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, there remains a terrible breach, a gaping wound in the tapestry of humanity, indeed of the world. The name of that wound is the transatlantic slave trade, one of the worst atrocities inflicted by one group of human beings on another, and whose legacy remains to this day. The quest of Prime Minister Mia Mottley and others like myself is the reparation of that breach, perpetuated by racism and other forms of discrimination. According to legend, and there may be some truth in this, somewhere on the western shores of Africa, on the nights of the full moon, the elders light fires, hoping to light the way for the lost children of Africa to find their way back home. Members of the United Nations General Assembly, your very name implies commitment through your peace initiatives and humanitarian policies to igniting the fires of conscience, empathy, unity, and equity, so that home for all races and ethnicities is a place of belonging, of dignity, and no people are made to feel as if they are unwelcome strangers on this earth. There are spirits of the victims of slavery present in this room at this moment, and they are listening for one word only: justice. Because for them and for the world, there can be no peace without justice, reparatory justice. And that call is answered only when words are turned into action. Question is, what will you do? Thank you.
I thank you, Ms. Phillips, for your very strong and emotional words, and we should all not forget the name Odifo. I now give the floor to Ms. Shahada Jack, First Youth Poet Laureate of Toronto, Canada.
Madam President of the General Assembly, Secretary General, Excellencies, friends, and guests, bonjour, and good morning. I would like to begin by expressing my deep gratitude to President Annalena Baerbock for the invitation and to everyone gathered here today in remembrance, reflection, and responsibility. We are here to honor the lives of those who were taken, those who endured, and those whose stories were never given the chance to be told.
The transatlantic slave trade is not just history. It is a living legacy that continues to shape our world, our systems, and our understanding of justice and humanity.
My name is Shahada Jack, and as Toronto, Canada's first Youth Poet Laureate, I stand here carrying both memory and possibility. Poetry is a way of reclaiming voice, of speaking back to silence, of honoring truth, and of imagining freedom beyond what was denied. And spoken word is considered the closest and most foundational art form to African ancestral storytelling. So today, the poem I am sharing is titled Reclaiming Our Pen. It is an offering, it is a remembering, and it is a call for all of us, especially the youth in this room, to continue telling our stories loudly, truthfully, and without permission. At an early age, my mother taught me that there are pages missing from world history, and they sound like our names, like the names of my grandmother and the women who came before me, women who were the descendants of African slaves, and somehow my blood already knew this to be true. The World Archives call this a trade, but my body remembers this as theft. My DNA remembers it as captivity and brutality. My DNA remembers its 2 million ancestors who died at sea. It remembers that before the ships and chains that we were whole, that our dignity was not something that we had to earn, but as something that we already carried. It remembers our liberty, not as a colonial gift, but as our innate birthright. See, my ancestors crossed oceans already free. Slavery was merely an interruption, not our origin story. For centuries, we existed as kings and queens before our being was deemed property. Now, museums profit off of our dynasties. Stolen heirlooms become historical artifacts. Our humanity now documented as mythology. See, history did not forget us or the spelling of our names. It simply stole the pen from our grip and edited us out, rewrote our realities and buried us in the margins. But they seemingly forgot that we were seeds. And no matter how many generations of oppressors tried to block the sunlight, our resilience relentlessly bloomed. We labored as resistance, used sacrifice as our weapon, and protested as promise. See what the world calls survival, my ancestors called remembering who they were. Before displacement, there were nations that required no permission to choose who they love, or the garments that they wore, or the language that they spoke. Emancipation was not the merciful start to freedom, but the delayed recognition of a freedom that already existed. So on this day, remembrance becomes an act of reparation, a vow to tell the story, not as it was justified, but as it was lived. Our history is global history, and so is the responsibility to remember and document it truthfully, fully. So look inward and ask yourself, how do you hope to be remembered in this world's history books? What will be your legacy in the fight for justice and equality? The history of slavery remains as a plague on our society. Many of the injustices we fight today are symptoms of its atrocities, but it is not the burden of African descendants to carry. We will no longer be victims, and our dignity will no longer be questioned. We are not product, we are prodigy. Our resilience will be echoed in the remembrance of our ascendants' plight, our shared legacy. See, history will not be our destiny. Hope will continue to be inherited by lineages to come. Young minds will be empowered by the fight of their ancestral line. The youth will become the co-conspirators of a future written for all of us. We will be the ones pushing justice into action, etching into the fabric of time that our pain is our power, but our beauty is our story. Reclaiming our pen and writing our forgotten names back into the pages of history. Merci, thank you.
Now, the United States has already come out and stated why they voted against this resolution. And the two reasons that they gave was, one, they believed that it would create a situation in which there would be legal consequences and people fighting to get reparations and them having to pay them. And then the second reason is they claimed they didn't believe in creating a hierarchy of global atrocities and putting any of them above the other. Typical racist, white supremacist talking points that we see even sometimes on app. However, the resolution passed. Now, I don't know right now, because it just literally passed about a couple of hours ago. I don't know what that means in the bigger scale for Black Americans or for other Black people, African people who are descendants of victims of this greatest global atrocity. But I will say, as a Black American, it is telling that our nation, the one that claims to be the land of freedom and equality and opportunity for all, the one that claims to be the only true democracy on the planet, the one that claims to believe in rights and equality, allegedly, for Americans, is the biggest nation that said no.
Esau is the daughter of Babylon. He's also called Babylon, and he's also called the devil, aka Lucifer. Now notice how these scriptures speak of Esau's Babylon and Satan interchangeably. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 1 reads, "The burden of Babylon which Isaiah son of Amos did see." Verse 6, "Howl ye, for the day of Yah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty." Verse 12, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, in the sides of the Lord. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth tremble, to shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pits. as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers that do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the earth with cities. For I will raise up against them, says Yah of hosts, and cut them off from Babylon, the name, the remnant, and the son, and the nephew, says Yah. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, Yah of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Yisrael. Sit thou still and get thee into the darkness, O daughter of Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into your hands. Thou did not show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid your yoke. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. And so that thou did not lay these things to heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, and say in your heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of your sorceries, and for the great abundance of your enchantments. For thou hast trusted in your wickedness, and hast said, none seeth me. Your wisdom and your knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in your heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to cut it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. You see, over and over again, the Most High Yah will destroy Esau, or the daughter of Babylon, in the last days. Isaiah uses different names to describe the people who will be destroyed by the Messiah in the last days. He will destroy Esau, the daughter of Babylon, using nations from the north. And he will destroy Esau, living in Basra, when he returns to the land of Israel. Now, in this scripture, Esau is called by his Greek name, Idumea. Come near, you nations, to hear and hearken, you people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yah is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yah is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of the rams. For Yah has made a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with the fatness. For it is the day of Yah's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1 reads, Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat? I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon mine garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Hear the word of Yah, you that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, Let Yah be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise came from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yah that rendereth recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such a thing? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to the birth, and not cause to bring forth, saith Yah? Shall our cause to bring forth and shut up the womb, saith Yah? Rejoice you in Jerusalem, and be glad with her, and all you that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, and all you that mourn for her, that you may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that you may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith Yah, Behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall you suck, and you shall be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforted, so will I comfort you, and you shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of Yah shall be known towards his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. For behold, Yah will come with fire, and with his chariots like the whirlwind, to render his anger in fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yah shall be many. And it shall come to pass, that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come worship before me, saith Yah.